It's 1 o'clock, guys. We'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. We'll start with the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Good night, Lord Father. Lord, we come to you as your servants, Lord, and your people servants here in Grand Canyon. Father, help us to make wise decisions, Lord. Use our God-given abilities to see through some of the questions we might have and some of the problems we might be feeling around, Lord. Guide our hearts, our mouths, minds, and our actions, and things that bring you glory and do good service to the people who you love. You stand in prayer. All right. Well, welcome everybody. It's cold out there. We're tough, so we're here. I appreciate everyone showing up. We've got a fairly small agenda today, and the first thing on that is county personnel for public comment. I don't see anyone here, but again, if you have something to say and we're still in session, we will make time to hear you. So we're gonna move on the agenda item number 1, which is the minutes from the 20th. Are there any additions, corrections, or comments on the minutes from the 20th as presented? You don't see any?
I did not have any.
Okay, would someone make a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
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 All right, motion carried. Number 2 is the payroll from 121. Any questions, comments, concerns on this as presented?
Yes, I got one question. Where do we decide to pay the snowplow drivers?
$30 an hour.
So, the Bruce just got $21 an hour. We like $21 an hour.
I was on snow was doing like normal road break duty.
Was, okay,
Because the hourly personnel will come through a table, but it's like a contract.
okay,
Basically, it's a 1099.
okay.
So,
Yeah, cause I couldn't look back and I couldn't find that
right.
in the payroll where that other was, so,
Yeah, so they'll be responsible for their own taxes.
okay. I didn't know I'd been working.
Did you have any?
I didn't. Same thing, going through payroll each week and
Okay.
understanding how they're classifying it more and more. I've asked Nikki quite a few questions over the weeks and she's explained them. Obviously, having the overtime pulled out so everybody can see it is a good thing because you can go right to the overtime and see where the overtime's worked in the county.
So speaking of overtime, what was the reason behind it being so large in the last pay period? As far as basically the sheriff's office and the building.
Yeah. I don't know. I haven't talked to John. I haven't asked him. I mean, we can ask him. It could be, but
Okay.
again, when I first asked, it's always going to be based off of what's going on, who's calling in sick.
Mhm.
Obviously, if they have some sort of an event, there's gonna be more overtime at the jail, those kind of things, but it doesn't hurt to ask when you see it. And that's why that report is so good, because it breaks it out. It wasn't that long ago where you saw more overtime in the courthouse, and we haven't seen that for a while, so.
Okay, well, I guess we'll just leave it as we'll ask some questions. Will you be in contact with him?
Yep, definitely.
See what he says. Okay, so then is there a motion? If there's no more discussion, is there a motion to approve the payroll from 121-26?
So move.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Last call, is there any more discussion? If not, all in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, motion carried. Moving down the list. Number 3 is conversations with the commissioners.
Like, even though we'll run that middle as well,
Correct.
I haven't got a response yet, though.
Okay, so I drove by there and gave the date to Gary. And Gary said that he would make sure that it's available. I guess he goes through Patty Merchant with that. And then also, I didn't realize, but they have the capability of serving coffee for us, so he's gonna have coffee there for us for that. That way we don't have people mad when they get there and realize there's no coffee. But Chris, since you're here, can we talk directly to him about that?
To set the date?
Yeah.
Okay, so I would make a motion, we set February 12th, 5:30 at the Breeding Barn of the Historical Society for our first coffee with the commissioners.
Coffee with the conversations, however they want to say it.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, so we moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? If not, all in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, motion carries. So that's it.
So Chris, we're gonna, no, I think you're okay. Yeah.
Okay.
So just letting you know, this will be the first time we do this. We talked about doing some sort of meeting once a quarter for a while. And so this is the first one, and like they said, it's the 12th. That's a Thursday at 5:30 at the Bruning Barn. And what we'd like to do is get something out in the paper to let everybody know. We'll also be putting it on KNZA and social media. What we're looking for participation from Brown County residents to come in and speak face to face to us. It's kind of an informal setting, meaning that I don't believe we will have it on YouTube, correct?
No, and there's not a business meeting either. It's not a regular business meeting. It's just a conversation. It's time to ask questions and
Right.
and share your concerns.
Basically, it's a way to let, to give people more access and to ask the questions some people are a little hesitant to come into a meeting where it's being recorded maybe, time constraints and all those, so. This is the first one and we're planning, like I said, once a quarter until we possibly maybe slow it down a little bit, maybe twice a year. But as we make some changes and as I know there's a lot of questions, I'm a new commissioner, so people have questions for me, but again, this is just their way to access us a little easier. Okay,
Yeah.
okay,
Good.
thank you.
Now, my question for you gentlemen, is it open to any, what about any elected official? Do we want to open it up like that? Do we want to extend the invite? Do we want to keep it to the petition? What do you think?
I think at first we do it with just the commissioners and see how it rolls out.
Okay.
That could be added at a later date. Unless you guys want to do something else.
Just clarification is all I asked that question. We want to try it on our own first. I think that's just fine.
Correct.
Yep, and we'll have coffee and water, I guess.
They have tea and coffee and
There
water,
you go. So we'll have something to drink.
unless Bill wants to make some baked goods. No? Okay.
Well, not really.
Okay. Give you the option.
That's not hardly a question we need to speak. You're okay, so is that good on conversations with the commissioners then? Everything's set? Ready to go? Okay. So then Austin's supposed to call in at 1:15?
He said between 1:15 and 1:30 he would be available.
All right.
What was that?
My phone. I had it muted, but not out.
Oh. Quite all right, Alice.
Okay, I'm in front of me. I have this resolution from the 12th that doesn't have my signature on it.
Yeah, those are not there from. No.
So I missed it. So I can go ahead and sign this now in front of everybody. And this is appointing the Brown County Health Officer. Yep, and the salary, personnel policy and salary wage. Okay, so we're gonna wait on Austin.
Well, there's one of the commission conflict. The second. So I'll imagine, on the copy, the paper copy.
Okay. Did the list from the previous NRP, the people that participated, how does it compare to the, is it basically the same?
Not just,
A lot less.
I guess, maybe not a lot, but it. Moral, so we have a moral around things. Just the last one, not this one.
Okay,
We have this was. Family involvement in Washington. How that different thing is that.
and so when they don't turn their stuff in, I mean, the default is they're not participating. We don't know if it's actively they didn't want.
Now, at least twice.
So it's actively they didn't. Okay.
After doing. They can rebate them. Which taxes for their. They can still.
So I live in Washington Township. I pay county taxes, I pay township taxes, so on, so like the school district. So essentially, if I do something, apply for the NRP, I'll still get the county. Right, but
Here at 4:30.
I'll get that back. I just won't get the township. Okay, so that's something we better communicate to very well, because I think lots of folks will run into that scenario, I imagine.
So Nikki, once this is adopted, at any time during that plan, can it be amended at all?
And I don't know how to. Probably not, because if someone started this first year and then 2 years later. And he said, yes, I don't know how they would like, the program would decipher. I don't even know how they're.
But somewhere it said it could be amended or changed, but they had to publish it twice.
I don't know how the. How the program would work, I like to.
Right.
Okay.
Well, we've been working on this. This was mentioned, I think, for the first time last April, possibly. So it's been, time is enough water has gone under that bridge. They've had time to choose yes or no. So I made sure it probably can be amended. Like anything, but maybe
No,
we should,
I'm not saying, I'm just saying that somewhere I read it,
I don't know.
there was a. It seemed like a hearing and publish it twice or something.
Is there anything else on that? Is Michaela, you think she'll be able to come in? Okay, good.
The only reason I brought it up is a lot of contracts will have, so for instance, if you look at here, once somebody applies, they have 2 years to get it done. And if they don't, it says that it's null and void. And sometimes you'll see, are you guys familiar with force majeure in contracts? Sometimes you'll see that there'll be a force majeure clause in there. For instance, during COVID was a good example of something that came up, and a lot of times, a lot of the construction just stopped. And so I'm not advocating that we go back and try to change it now. I was just wondering if anybody had ever brought that up before. If there was some sort of a weather event or something unforeseeable, if the treasurer has the capability of extending it past that. I'm not quite sure.
Are you you're not talking about.
No, I'm talking about the way it's written up.
The treasurer's office would be the one. For the day wise. And treasurer just said, it's the one that has to check on.
Okay.
So there was some discussion upstairs about the exhibits being in a format where they're more. Do they need to be digitized? Well, what I meant was, should we, do we need to, do you contract that out somehow? How does that even happen? To take,
Dallas, do you have anything to speak on that? I don't know if you heard the question. It's okay.
So in this NRP, Dallas, there's several pages of exhibits, which are exceptions to the NRP. They are just in typewritten form. Some of them actually are typewritten, not just computer. So there was some discussion upstairs about getting that digitized. How does that happen? Is that just data entry? Is that how it works? Or are there programs that could take that and put it into a, I guess, a workable PDF form? Is that the right language?
Yeah, we could take, like if they're physically out,
Uh-huh.
you said that could, yeah, we can take images of those or scans and then use, OCR is optical character recognition.
Okay.
Just turn it into text that we can work with. You know, we can get that on the website very easily.
Okay, so could we, as a commission, if we task you with that, would that be something you'd be willing to do?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, do we need, what is our timeline for getting on the website?
I don't think but now with the thing, with this video, maybe probably big tip.
Yeah, sure. It's probably not, yeah, you're right, it's not like super important, but it would be nice to see it, because in the document it says all of Brown County with the exception of B, C, D, and E, I think, and it'd be nice to see what those all are. So if you can do that, that's one. Okay, so can I? There you go. Nikki will email you what we're talking about and give us an update on that maybe next week or 2 weeks, whenever we take care. All right, thank you.
My question on that is, for trying that, so the Sabetha Industrial Park's exempt, right? That's not included.
Unincluded, that's the part.
So how does that help the county? Or does the how does the Sabetha plan exempt the Brown County taxes?
There, it's exempt from the NRP. It's about the NRP.
I think, Bill, I'm gonna try to answer because I asked some of these questions last week. So Sabetha City, the city government exempted the Sabetha Industrial Park South and the Airport Industrial Park, 2 regions. So that those areas are exempted from their plan.
Okay,
So I guess in conference with her and discussion with people and with our attorney, if the city exempted them, then we exempt them also. Is that right? I think I'm saying it the right way. So that means if somebody builds in those 2 areas, they're not eligible for the NRP on either the city or the county.
okay. But that was doing this to try to get businesses in Brown County. Why would they exempt?
Because those 2 parts are basically full. Is what I would.
Right.
Those are occupied.
Right.
There's no empty lots left. Or nobody wants to add on to their facilities.
Sabetha City, I mean, and I'm just, nobody told me this, but looking at the information, Sabetha City would like industry in a different part. But they don't necessarily need any more in those 2 areas.
Of course, they live in England County.
Well,
Anyway, that's just a question.
Plus, it probably goes back to the blighted area as well. Did you understand how that works?
Right,
Okay.
so in the appraiser's office, he walked me through with an overhead picture of those 2 specific areas, and they're just. And your point, I'm sure, is valid too. I mean, you're pretty sure that's part of it. Any more questions? Okay. Okay, well, we're waiting on, and Austin's calling in, there's a zooming in. It's-
Just realizing that on 1:30.
Okay. Okay, well, hey, I'll tell you what I'll do then. We got a little time here. Let's wing it. I forwarded an email to Nikki. She'll forward it to you. I talked to I emailed Michelle Brimwald with the Linda Osterman group of attorneys about the tax sale. And she responded back with some questions. I was at a Horton meeting last week with some people who said, my interpretation of a tax sale property, if it was purchased at the sale and what you actually have to pay for with Linda Osterman versus what they paid for in the past, and sounds like there is some differences. Our current relationship with Linda Osterman basically means they're going to sell it for what they can get. And they're not reaching back, looking for back taxes. If that makes sense. Okay, so in the past, it sounds like county policy was if it was purchased at a tax sale, the delinquent tax sale, you would pay with maybe the back 3 years of taxes. So which explains the differences in what so people had bought, like a business owner bought one in Everest and I was wrong and she was right. If she didn't pay some back taxes, I think you had a story too about some amendments. So with the new setup, we should be clear that essentially you're paying whatever the purchase price is plus the fee for doing it. And then get it on the tax, clears the delinquent tax rolls and gets it in the end of someone.
Well, I also think that, it's not normal to have this many years in the rears, right? You normally, under normal business, it would be 3 years. Or two. But what Brown County's looking at right now is taxes not being paid back to 2018, am I correct?
Somewhere back there,
Yeah.
I think 2018 or 19. But this email does address that. I asked if there would be a holdup between the current sale, the one that's kind of in process, versus what this new company's doing. She doesn't act like it's going to be a problem. In fact, it says whether or not that one is wrapped up or not, it won't be an issue for us.
Right.
So it sounds like she's moving forward, even if the other one is not. So
Right.
good.
So at any time, is she gonna be coming in and updating us in person as to where we are, or? I mean, obviously, we have an email and all that. It's just, this is a pretty important topic, and I was just wondering
If I remember, wasn't she on Zoom when we saw her?
I mean, even a Zoom call would be great.
She is so, I emailed her yesterday afternoon and she sent it to me right away this morning. So I think she's pretty agreeable. I'm sure we could schedule a Zoom meeting.
Okay.
Especially because you never had any contact, right?
I believe I was in the audience still when they were,
Okay.
when they were talking. There was two people up here. I think one of them was this gal.
Okay. Okay.
But I get a lot of questions about the tax sales. And so as I try to get up to speed.
So I've sent her this email. Nikki, would you like me to ask her or would you like to do that? Okay. Okay, so see if she'll get on Zoom and give us an update.
Sure.
That'd be great. We'll roll on. So it's interesting how much flexibility there is, because according to her company, you don't have to pay any back taxes, but again, according to what the county was doing previously, they paid. So we need to get that cleared up too, so people know exactly what's going on. Okay, that's great. The other email I got was from Dennis Hoopy and Mike Steenhook. Those are the men we met with a month or so ago, 2 months maybe, about the alternative bridge. And he was just reaching out to see if there was any news. And he's just basically keeping in contact. So you have that now.
Okay. Well, we do have a bridge that we're looking at up in the Irving Township, trying to decide if that's a good candidate. Austin's also has been speaking with a few people about that bridge that have alternative methods. So I believe that's going to be the first bridge that might be a participant for that. Just keep you updated as we go forward.
And I told Dennis, he called me, I told him we haven't forgotten about it, but the road and bridge is under construction for no pun intended, I guess, and so we'll be involved. All right. So now we are patiently waiting for 1:30. Michaela, thanks for being here. Did you have anything else you wanted us to know on NRP reports?
Nothing else. I just wanted to say that Nikki was a really great partner. She's done a lot of work And that's as well, so I appreciate it, actually, really easy with us, so. we just
So,
have one for the-
I'm glad you said that, and you said it in front of our newspaper man, because my hope is to get a little bit of notoriety and publicity for the people that worked on this. You and Steve upstairs, I guess, you know, us and our accounting and the Austin Parker, we made some phone calls, I guess, but the primaries are right here. And I guess I'm telling you, Chris, the primaries are right here, so. If you write something, I hope you drop their names. No pictures, no picture, right?
I also think that the 12th of February would be a good time to bring that up to whoever's in attendance also.
Yeah.
About the work you guys have done and having the new NRP finally accepted. So we'll bring it up and try to get, again, more information out to the people.
What HEFA did, you through HEFA too. So when I ran, one of the questions was, what does HEFA do? And I hear that a lot, I heard it a lot, and see, now you answered this, because you're very instrumental in this. I don't know if people remember, but you weren't even here. She gave us, Michaela gave us the different breakdowns of like this percentage, this rebate structure, all this stuff, the information, and it was extremely beneficial. Now, we made the decision here, but we couldn't have done it without the information. Really, the partnership from you two, really, you and the county clerk, you looked at it. I really appreciate it. Well, it was a long process, but Nikki gave us ample warning. Actually, it was in April of last year when we first saw it, so.
So,
There's a lot. We signed a lot of stuff, a lot of resolutions, and of course, we know what they are, but it's still the mechanics of where these things come from. And the whereas and all that stuff, that happens right there. And she puts it in front of us and we make it legal. So anyway. Glad you're here, and we got about 3 minutes. I kind of idle chit chat now. Do you have anything, Bill, that you want us to know about? How was the snow down south?
Looks like it's starting to blow.
So we had 3 people step up, we're doing a program where we're using outside people other than full-time employees to push snow. So three individuals stepped up again and it went well. John and I talked quite a bit. He went back out today to go do Powhatan along with Jerry. They're over kind of doing a second attempt at Fairview. So that went well. We have some equipment issues in Fairview that we need to address, and I've talked to John about it. We're gonna drive over and make a list of what needs to be done on that equipment. But I think it needs to be addressed pretty quickly. And so we're either gonna go tomorrow or the next day, and I'll get a list to you guys and show you what we're seeing. That way, when the equipment goes out, it's functional and we don't waste any downtime trying to get the equipment running. All these kind of things, the stuff that we wanted to make sure before the storm, we were making the calls, that everybody was about making sure that all the equipment's ready to go and no excuses. And we did have a few pieces of equipment that were not ready to go. That shouldn't happen, not at all. So. Also, I'm gonna go by and take a look at some of the electrical on some of the buildings. I just learned this last week that we don't really have a way if we lose power. We're trying to fuel up some equipment during a storm right now. There isn't even a small generator as a backup. And so if they were trying to transfer fuel from the pumps go down. So I want to take a look at that, and that's easy to fix. But we should definitely have a plan B if the power was to go out. So I'll make a list and report back to you guys.
So do the fuel stations have,
I'm sorry?
or like the fuel stations, do they have? Could you go buy it commercially?
So right now, the only backup we would have is, I believe Ag Partners has a way, we could, but if we've got the fuel in tanks, we want to be able to transfer from our own tanks.
Right.
And that can be done pretty simply. So just another thing of looking how we're prepared and what we do when we get a storm. Thank God the storm really stayed to the south of us. I mean, this is not much. So, but moving forward, we just want to be better prepared.
Good. Well, I'm glad you looked at that, because that, your truck's running, but you can't put fuel in it. That doesn't work right now. Now, they do have a pretty big tank in them, and I'm sure they were full before the storm.
Yeah.
That's
Correct.
great. Okay. Well, we will come back to that, but it is 1:30. So on our schedule, we have the proposed 2026 neighborhood revitalization. And we've all had a chance to review extensively, made a few changes. And so it's on schedule, I guess, to be voted on. So before we move on this, is there anybody in the room, any commissioners, do you have any comment that you want to make?
Still in the same position. But I'm opposed to it because if you have a tax incentive that lowers the tax on some properties for a number of years, it requires an increase on the other remaining properties in the county, so. The trade-off, I mean, you give one person advantage, but you gotta make it up with somebody else.
Okay.
That's still my point.
That's duly noted. It's duly noted. So. What about you, Mr. Tesserero? You got anything to say?
I mean, I appreciate Bill's opinion on that.
And I recognize you guys' opinion too.
Yeah.
So,
So it's good dialogue back and forth, and that's what we're supposed to have, right?
All right. And I don't have any additional comments, so I guess if we've got resolution. I'm looking at it here, I think I'm right. What's that? 2026-08. Okay, so I'm looking at 2026-08. That's a resolution dating a revitalization area and adopting a neighborhood revitalization plan for Brown County, Kansas. As of January 1, 2026. So if there's no more comments or discussion, is there a motion to approve resolution number 2026-08?
I will make a motion to approve resolution number 2026-08.
Okay, is there a second? And I'll second. So then it's been moved and seconded. Is there any more discussion? No? Okay, then all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And all opposed, same sign.
Aye.
Okay. Motion still carries 2-1, the resolution carries, so. That is done. Now I'm looking at this one. Do we need to make a separate,
I think the resolution changed that.
covers the actual plan? Okay, so I can sign both? We can sign both, okay.
Then, when we look at. There's, relating that, right here for the phone. On the application. Are we okay with all of that?
Yeah. So we've got some changes to the document, which it's not completed within 2 years from the application date. That's the $25,000 increment change to qualify, that's in there. And then it looks like they want some copies of written documents. Evidencing out of pocket expenses.
Right.
Oh, okay, and copies of written documents. Okay, that makes sense. Makes sense. Okay, so that's all part of it. Do we need to approve that application then? All right, well, so what we're looking at now is the revisions to the applications for the participation in this NRP. So we've got some changes. We're all aware of them. Are there any questions, comments, or concerns about that? If not, is there a motion to approve the new application?
I'd make a motion to approve the new application.
Okay, is there a second? I'll second it. Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Is there any more discussion? If not, all in favor, say aye.
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 Okay. Motion passed. All right, and the map goes along with it, and Dallas has already agreed to digitize the exhibits that are in little old-fashioned technology, so we'll get those up to date, and I appreciate you doing that.
And I'm a little green. But. That's on each one. When I think that's committed to.
Okay, so all these interlocal agreements are with the entities that want to participate. It's within the plan, so does this need a separate motion to sign? And it looks like it's just the commission chairman gets to sign all these, so. Okay, all right, I'll do that. So, Michaela Moore is here with Hefford. And are we done with this?
Yeah.
Okay, and Nicole Lee, our county clerk, Steve Markham, Nate Fraser, he's upstairs. Us and our county council, Austin Parker. I mean, she said no pictures. I'm not a newspaper man, but I would like, Chris, really would like to see this NRP program get out there. And I think your newspaper, your publication is a good way to do that. A lot of what we see on this side of the desk is people in Brown County aren't really aware that this program even existed. And so with a new one that's better, I think we'd really like to get the word out. And if you could help us, that would be wonderful. So whatever you want us to do, we will turn over 2 or 3 minutes of this meeting if you need it. If you want to take a picture, whatever you want to do. Okay. 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 What do you think? What do you think?
I think whatever we can do to get it out. You understand too, Chris, this is a 10-year plan. That had been going on for years before, so it was expiring. This is the new.
Thank you.
And I'm trying to carry my press releases for if you need somebody to run press release.
Sounds like we have the person to write the press release, person most knowledgeable.
Okay. Do you need anything else from us? I'm turning it over to you. I want to make us available, whatever you want us to do. You make up your mind, you make your own decision.
But yeah, possibly this would be.
And then just to add this, so I think Chris is coming to the half day, the only more we will do the United States separate on the NRP. So if you wanted, and I'm sure there, we're officially talking about it in public.
That's fine.
We could do that.
That's fine.
And that's still happening Thursday, correct?
Wednesday,
Wednesday.
yes, but it's 20,
Okay, because originally there was,
we normally have Thursdays, this year with conflicts.
So I'm-
It's 20.
Excuse me.
Well-
Hi,
Hello.
hello,
I have my smallest helper with me. She is
Okay.
eating a cheese pizza, and her mother is sick. I've got a cold, so please forgive me.
Okay, well, we're glad you're here. Austin, we just signed the neighborhood revitalization.
Perfect.
plan. That's done, and we're on to basically, if you have any county council updates for us, go for it.
Sure. So we had a very productive meeting, Richard and I, with the tribe. And I think it's probably the beginning of several potential points of collaboration with us. I think this is going to be a sort of a template that we can use with others if we're going to provide some, and the sheriff was there as well. Provide some ancillary services. We've had some conversation about how we structure out the Hiawatha conversation. Okay, obviously there's a letter that has very limited legal effect on what we do at this point. So we can do pretty much what we want there. In terms of restructuring, we had a really good meeting with Amberwell Health where we're working through, and one of my to-dos is to work with Nikki to get some information related to our county payee mix. Like what are they getting rid of the protected health information, obviously, of each employee, but they want to run the numbers like they would if we were shopping for a new insurance linebacker every year. But one of the things that I was really encouraged about was the type of model that they had. So it's not taking away a benefit from employees being able to go elsewhere, but it is trying to get employees an option to work locally with our local healthcare provider to get to basically pay nothing for even larger scale things. Like if you're going to give birth, the idea is how do you have a child without having to pay a lot of money. And that's something sensitive on my end because that was a $6,000 or $7,000 item for me as my wife just gave birth to our son. And so getting that down to a $0 or a $500 situation at the local hospital seems like that would be a benefit. Okay. But still giving people the option to go elsewhere. That was part of their proposal. So it was very impressive. But they're going to start working through the numbers and then see how we can get towards a long-term savings as well for us as the county. We've been talking a little bit about and one of the things we're going to do in the next week is I'm going to make sure that I've got the dimensions and some photos of the road because I'm meeting with the people that are going to be doing or at least telling us how we can do the test for the bridge alternative technology. So I'm working on that. Next week when I'm there in person, we're going to get some photos, make sure we've got that so that when I meet with them within a week and a half after that, I've got some concrete information that I can share with them. Please don't touch the keyboard. Thank you, sweetheart. Sorry. No, don't do that. No, yes, that's a photo of your mother. I'm sorry, guys. Just eat your pizza. So I'm working on that. And then we do have some potential work along with excuse me 1 minute, everybody. Just give me 1 second. Apologize.
You go off a little bit, I'll take care of it though. Nikki, I had a question last night. I got it from about.
All right, I think I've got us squared away now. We're resettled. Sorry. And then I also had some Commissioner Richard and I have had some ancillary meetings concerning mapping out how we might structure things. And Commissioner Richard's doing an outstanding job of restructuring aspects of what road and bridge, the functionality, even though we're in a transition time, what that looks like. So I just wanted to give kudos on that end. And then I think we're having some meetings concerning that next week. But when I come back next week, I do have one other to-do item. There is we did the Majane Farms easement, and then there's another easement that I got the legal description a couple of days ago from Tammy. And so I'm working on doing a second permanent easement for that other bridge. And I think that's where we're at. That's my update at the moment. Are there some other things that we need to be going through at Richard? Did you have anything else that we wanted to touch on at the moment?
I don't think so. You responded on the stop sign issue that I asked about. So we
Yes,
got
sir.
regarding that, and it looks like we're good to go on that. But obviously the mean enclosure, you responded to Tammy, I saw that. So I just
Yes,
want to make sure that we move forward and get that done as soon as possible, whatever it takes.
Yep. And I think on that, I've looked at it. That's something we're just going to do ourselves, and we've got that information. So maybe the second meeting in February, we'll work on having that on the agenda. Okay. But other than that, that's what I have at the moment. Does anybody else have anything for me or for Camille?
Austin, I had one.
Sure.
FAS 51 from last meeting. I just have a note here that says under Austin needs a contract. Is that what you just mentioned? I'm sorry. Okay, never mind.
No, you're fine. You're fine. You're fine. I think that's it.
Yeah.
So
And
then my two.
I'll just touch on real quick. I had asked Austin if the county has,
Sure.
if he could find out legally if the county has the option to install a stop sign at a location if they deem necessary. And he looked into it and responded with some information, basically said what I thought. You know, obviously installing a stop sign is a lot easier than removing a stop sign. So he responded, and we do have the right to do that if we want.
Okay. Okay, and is that like a county-owned intersection?
Mhm.
And if
Yeah, we have a lot of flexibility on county owned or county maintenance roads. if we get within less than 50 or 100 yards, but really 50 yards of of an intersection that's maintained by the state, then we have more hoops to jump through. But if it's us and ours, then we can pretty much do what we wish to on that.
All right.
So my to-dos for next week are to do the other permanent easement. Okay, and then to follow up concerning photos and measurements on the bridge that we're gonna maybe do the trial on. We'll get more information on that. And then was there another contract thing, Richard, that I'm missing here?
No. Not that I was working on.
All right, so I think we've got those two things, and then we're just going to keep moving forward. I couldn't be more happy with Amberwell, the meeting with Amberwell Health, and also I'm waiting back on the other thing. This is the other contract thing. I'm waiting back on information from the tribe. They're working with their legal counsel to come back with changes. I already gave my comments in the meeting a week and 2 or 3 days ago that I think we're going to be able to accommodate what they want, but I said, let's just push it through and get it over with now. So, all right.
Very good.
Those, the roadways talking about closing, is that going forward? The,
Yeah, that's what we were just talking about.
okay,
Yes.
Yep.
okay, thank you.
All right. And then there's a couple of other things administratively that are not like pressing that I'm going to talk about with Richard a little bit on some structure, and we'll go from there. Okay.
All right, wonderful. Well, thank you.
Thank you for calling in.
No problem. Thank you for being a good girl, Camille. Can you wave bye?
For your pizza.
Yeah. Thanks for the flexibility, everybody. Mom is definitely under the weather.
We're a
Thank you, guys.
family environment. So it's-
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Okay, okay. What I was asking, I got a call last night about the services for the elderly and the meal delivery when the weather's bad. I didn't know how to answer that, and so she had to call you. You had the answer. You made it the answer.
She also called me.
One that Jake knows, I don't.
Okay.
Not other people. Some Facebook website.
Okay, so do we need to have some language then to clarify that? That says in when the school's canceled for weather, we cancel the program? What do you guys think?
Well, when I learned about it, she was asking my opinion. She said that Donovan County had canceled it already. And that the concern is on the delivering of the meals, we're delivering to the elderly that need the meals, but we're also using elderly people to deliver it. And with wind chills, 20 below is what they were projecting. I just simply said that, what have you guys done in the past, and how do you get the information out there quickly enough? Because some people are going to be disappointed, there's no doubt, but we also don't want to have a problem with, obviously, that's dangerous weather when it's those kind of temperatures. So my only problem is there's been sometimes I think that the school gets closed when I don't understand why. And so I would hate to piggyback on the school. I think that it would just be more, it's not something that is mandatory that we are governed to do. And so if we're taking it in the best interest of the people that are delivering those meals, I think it just remains kind of subjective, but
Can we let that fall on our services for the elderly director and let her make that decision?
I would have no problem doing it. It's a common sense decision. Obviously, if we start seeing a pattern where it was getting shut down, we're still operating today, and a lot of businesses are, then we could take a look at it. That's why I say it's subjective.
Does that sound like a workable solution? Does there need to be? Okay. Does that sound workable to you?
Yeah, she kind of communicates with the people she has to live in.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I asked her is just going forward, we should let the people know that, hey, this service can be canceled due to inclement weather. I think most people would understand.
Do we need to do that in any form of a vote or a motion? Okay.
Like, so,
I
I
like,
wonder if it would be worth, like, when she's talking to people, if they wanna be notified, to like, get a cell phone number. And have a text it. I think that would be what I would do. You know, like, about-
yeah, I was gonna say, when Tammy's back, we could kind of get some ideas, but I like the idea of using common sense to figure out if we're gonna do it or not.
Right.
Okay, I had that. We had about the burn permit for this coming spring, and we were looking for an email list, an email tree.
Mhm. I'm getting that.
Okay, you're on it.
I have some of it already. I don't have all of it, so.
Okay, and then I had three people actually mention, the same candidate for this emergency management position too. It's all the same person, so.
Okay.
There's a lot of buzz amongst our volunteer fire departments about getting some people
Right.
involved in that. And then I guess I have one thing I'd like to go into executive session for 5 minutes. If we had time before they get here at 2 o'clock, would that be okay? So I'd like to go to 5 minutes executive session with the county commissioners and the county clerk president to discuss non-elected personnel and just call it performance.
Good.
I'd make that a motion.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
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 Good, motion carried. We'll come back at 1:57, basically. We're out of executive session, back into regular with no binding action taken. So the next thing on our agenda is at 2 o'clock with K-Camp representatives that are going to be zooming in. So well, looks like we've only got about 2 minutes. Does anyone need a break for any reason? Are we good?
Did everybody get my KDHE email?
I did.
From it. We'll probably need, I wasn't really thinking it was gonna be pressing issue, but it is, needs to be turned in by March 1st. So we'll need, I don't remember if we needed a motion to submit it. Last time, I can't remember that, I have to research that, but. Just the financial
Do we-
test for local government, so
We
don't
have to go through the same test that
Yeah.
we did last year.
And since 2024 is still our most recent audit. They changed the closure cost. Don't have so many almost 2 years old. So ADHD was kind enough to help me with the calculation. And that's what I.
So what you sent us here with all this information, you think you may need a motion to submit it?
I don't know, you have to find it,
And this has to be done by March 1st, correct?
has to be turned in. But we did, I don't, Jim, that you guys want to take time and look at it for the end of the month, maybe.
If that, if we have enough time, that's fine.
Good.
Okay,
Okay.
anything else? We got a few minutes here.
I'm currently left planning commission members, 2 of them.
Kind of,
Okay. So I was gonna, I can put the resolution together if I know.
yeah, no, we have reached out to a few people and we haven't made a decision. I talked to another person yesterday, so.
Okay, gentlemen, I can see you. We have you on at 2 o'clock. Looks like we got just a few seconds left here. Get you lined up.
We'll wait patiently. Yeah. I'm gonna try to get Patrick on the phone as well. I'm gonna mute myself.
Okay. All right, it's 2 o'clock. On our agenda is K-Camp, Patrick Smith, and James Gambrill. Looks like we have a Brian Cooper on also.
Yes, sir.
All right, we're gonna take a little bit and get everybody lined up. If you fellows want to introduce yourself, we're the Brown County Commission and glad to have you on.
But thank you for having us on. I'm trying, it looks like Patrick was trying to get on the other line. It looks like there was 2 lines that were sent out to get on. So I'm trying to call him to see if he'll get on this one. So, but I'm James Gambrell. I'm the property claims adjuster here at K-Camp. Hey, can you get on the commissioners?
And I'm Brian Cooper, the claims manager, litigation files at K-Camp.
Oh.
Just
Let
Great.
me come over.
Well,
I'll be there in a second. I'm gonna go over to his office right quick, so I'll help him get on.
okay, there's no hurry. We're all
Okay.
right. We'll
Okay,
just
I'll be
get to
right
know
back.
Brian better while you're gone.
What, can we tell a dad joke or something, or?
Sure.
Go ahead.
What was the best part of the weekend? Staying dry and warm and
The best part of the weekend was the storm didn't hit us like it hit a lot of other states or even down south from us.
That-
That
amen
was
to
the
that.
best
That's
part of the
great.
weekend.
Yeah, could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, a little cold weather never hurt anybody, but 11 below, that's excessive, I think.
Yeah.
So now
But-
are you out of Topeka or where are you out of?
Yes, sir. And I live in Tonganoxie, so but yeah, commute to Topeka. So and I spent a large portion of my career in McPherson working for near Wichita, working for a private insurer, farm ranch insurer, commercial insurer. So
Okay. Okay. So we deal with insurance quite a bit. What we saw here, this risk assessment, I believe, saw some things. We just had a few questions and we were hoping to be able to ask them and pick your brain and you guys, vice versa, I guess.
absolutely. Yeah, I'll let James and Patrick kind of be the
Okay.
speaking voice, and I'll just kind of soak it all in
All right.
at this point. So how much snow did you guys get?
I'm gonna guess 5 inches. That's
Five.
about what I had at home. I often may have had a little less than that, but close.
We had 4.5 or something.
There you go.
4.5.
Yeah,
Yeah. Manageable.
so for some reason, Patrick did not receive the invitation for the commission's meeting. So I just forwarded it to him.
Okay,
So he should be coming on any second now.
okay.
Yep, there he is.
All right.
Hello, can you hear me?
All right. Hello and
Hi,
welcome.
Patrick, we can hear you.
Sorry for the inconvenience.
Don't be sorry. It's all right.
How you guys doing?
We're doing very well, all things considered. It's cozy warm in here. And we are ready to know about all things K Camp, risk assessment, insurance. I mean, just blow us away, guys. Amaze us.
Okay, what kind of questions did you guys have to begin with on
I
this?
know, I know.
Actually, there were a couple questions. I've been through a lot of risk assessments, and some of the stuff you guys pulled up, obviously, we need to get addressed, and we appreciate that. One of the questions I had is requiring the full thermal scans on the electrical panels. Have you guys required that in the past without knowing what manufacturers they were? The reason I'm saying this is I used to be in the business of doing the full thermal scans, and there were several manufacturers that insurance companies were concerned about. But if you had updated or manufacturers that didn't fall within those classifications, a lot of times they would waive it. And the only reason I'm asking is it's expensive. We don't have the equipment here. And before we go out and get an electrician in here, I wanted to make sure, is that necessary if the equipment that we were using doesn't fall? If, for instance, Challenger or Zinsco, or did you have a list of manufacturers that you guys were concerned about that were having problems and continue to have problems?
No, we don't really have a list of any type of manufacturers that we require you to use or anything of that nature. This was just mainly like a risk assessment to make sure that there aren't any safety hazards.
Sure.
So this is one of the things that they brought up. And whenever they bring it up, we just look into it to make sure that it's something that we can take care of, or you guys can take care of before it becomes a serious safety hazard. But
Right.
we don't have any requirements as to how you go about doing that.
Okay. So if we were to perform our own inspection on those panels and determine that there was no problems with overheating or amperage being drawn that's causing a heat problem, that would be acceptable?
Yeah, as long as it's a competent person doing it, and we're totally fine with it.
Okay. Okay. One of the other questions too is I know, this is an historical building, of course. So one of the things they had mentioned was anti-slip devices on the marble steps that go upstairs. And I'm trying to figure out what would suffice on that, because obviously we're not gonna go in there and scarify or rough up that marble surface, and it's kind of an anti-slip marble, believe it or not. I went up and down a couple times and it's not slick at all, so I was trying to figure out what would be acceptable on that, because obviously we don't want to come in and just put something down on a historical building.
Yeah, we were just, like I said, it's a risk assessment. It's a precautionary measure.
Okay,
If it's not like required by OSHA standard, it's not really anything that you have to concern yourself with too much. We like that you're looking into it, but like in the initial report, it said recommendations, and it's just a recommendation. It's not
Okay.
like a set in stone type requirement
sure.
for that one.
Well, the recommendations, as you go through, they're good recommendations. It's just there was a couple of them that obviously we don't want to go out and spend a bunch of money that we don't have if we can perform some of this and get it, and it'll pass
So-
what you're looking for.
When I get the report back, and I can go ahead and look over the report to see what was taken care of or what type of things that you guys looked into, I can give more recommendations as to, hey, this is what we need or require. Like there's certain things I know he had, our inspector, he put all the fire extinguishers needed signs, and
Sure.
that's really not necessary if the fire extinguisher isn't blocked by any type of cabinets or any type of anything that, if it's easy to see, there doesn't need to be a sign unless there's some objects that are around it. And of course, there shouldn't be anything blocking the fire extinguisher.
Right.
But if there's anything like, hey, there might be a cabinet that's close by, then it would need a sign.
Okay.
But other than that, I mean, those are like recommendations to put signage up over the clear path of a fire extinguisher,
Okay.
unobstructed.
And then the last thing was I was out at the landfill, and one of the things they wanted was the oxygen acetylene tanks separated by 20 feet. And so the question came up, well, they're on a dolly and there's a reason that they're together because that's how they have to be used. So is there something that I'm not aware of that says that when not in use, they have to be separated? Because this was kind of a common practice in most shops that they're placed together on a dolly, and of course the gauges are hooked up to them and the hoses are hooked up to them. So maybe we're looking into this a little bit more than we should, but we're just obviously we want to take it serious, but know what exactly we have to do before we go in and start doing things.
What was that? The
The
oxygen tank?
acetylene tanks, they were asking that they be separated by 20 feet or place a firewall between them, and
It's
Page
number
17.
21 on your
20.
list.
21.
21, page 17, yeah.
So they're placed in a dolly and they're portable. And the way this is written up, it makes it look like we can't leave them in the dolly.
That's one I'd probably have to look into and see if OSHA actually requires that. It may
Okay.
be a safety precaution, but if OSHA requires it, then we would have to go by OSHA standards.
Right, okay. If that's something you could get back to us on, and then we'll.
Yeah, I can get back to you on it.
Did you guys have, did you have any other questions?
We talked a little bit in here about the lightning protection.
Okay, lightning protection, which is not surge protection, two different things. So, lightning protection is not a requirement, in order for you guys to insure us, correct?
Yeah, that's what would you say on that, James? I'm going to get James in on this.
No, if you don't have lightning protection, or even a surge protection, that's not a requirement for,
Okay,
underwriting requirement for insuring.
okay, Because
any member.
obviously, lightning protection can get quite costly and so
Absolutely.
we're looking at this like, are we gonna
Lightning-wise.
start putting all this in around all the buildings, and surge protection being a completely different thing is a lot easier to accomplish versus lightning protection, so.
Yeah, and that was at the transfer station, right? That's what he was bringing out? Lightning,
There-
no lights.
Several different places.
Yeah, and the way I read it, it was, we don't have lightning protection in any of the buildings. So that's,
Okay.
again, that's kind of, if we were gonna be required to have lightning protection, then the next question would have been is what spec do we have to adhere to? What type of lightning protection do we have to install? And,
Sure.
that would have been the second part of this, but, so.
Okay. Yeah, it doesn't risk, yeah, I see it in other places as well. It doesn't, it's not a requirement for insurability
Okay,
with KCAP. Just a precautionary measure.
well, maybe at some point we can get a grant that, we can put lightning protection on the buildings, but it can get quite costly.
Absolutely. Yeah,
You guys are taking advantage of our risk avoidance grant, right? I don't think you guys have used it yet.
Is that the grant where if we were to basically adhere to everything you guys had recommended that we can apply? I think it was like up to $2,000 or $2,500 back. Was that it?
Yes, $2,000 that we reimburse our members on an annual basis for anything that's going to go towards the risk reduction of property loss or liability. So you could use it for anything that's noted on this risk assessment form.
Okay.
Would that be, I know the sheriff's department has used a grant from you in the past to put a grill guard on a car. Is that a similar type program, or could that be the same grant?
It's the same grant. It's the same grant that basically it's for the whole county. So usually what people do is they'll, during whatever type of risk management meetings that they have, they'll discuss what department will use the grant money and what it's for, what it's going to be used for. And then they'll go ahead and they'll make the purchase and then send me the documentation. And then I start the reimbursement process.
So for instance, on this recommendation, there's some signage that you guys are recommending. There's a few other things that, we would be going out and purchasing. Those would fall under that. We could turn in the receipts for those.
Yes.
Okay.
We have a form that you can fill out. And then if I get the receipts or the invoice form, I start the reimbursement process and we send the check to you.
Okay. Does that also go for thermal scanning?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Mm-hmm. And I also looked up the oxygen and acetylene.
Acetylene.
Yeah, it's acetylene. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
But it is a OSHA regulation that you have to have them separated by a minimum of 20 feet.
Is that for ones in storage or just for the ones in use?
The ones in storage must be separated by a minimum of 20 feet, is what it says. Doesn't say any of the ones in use.
I guess that'd be the difference, but
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Okay, we'll look into it and figure out something.
So our next step as a county on this, following your recommendations, is to go one by one here and resolve them, or what is the next step?
So I gave a date, and I believe it was I have to look at my forms, but it might be March 5th or whatever that I was trying to get all of the corrective actions back to me so that I could review it and then give out any type of recommendations from there on out.
Okay, yeah, you said your letter says the 6th of March.
Okay, the 6th of March.
All right.
Okay, well, we're gonna get on this then. I would say that the custodians can do 90% of this. And then a few other things we'll have to take a look in. I'll look into the thermal imaging and stuff and see if any of our local electricians have a thermal imager.
Some of the pictures of the fire extinguishers, I just learned that if they're not blocked, they may not need the signage. Do we make that determination on our own? Some of the pictures are on a blank wall with just an extinguisher. Did
Yeah.
that need a sign?
See, that's what I was going off of. If I didn't see any type of obstruction, those type of extinguishers would not need a sign because
Okay.
it's unobstructed.
Right.
Therefore, it wouldn't need a sign. If it was like I think there was a couple that had a cabinet next to it,
Okay,
those would need signs.
all right. All right, well then we'll. Okay.
Good.
All right, well,
Well, I think you answered our questions. I appreciate it.
Yeah, we want to thank you, commissioners, for taking time out to, go over this with us as well. We appreciate your business being K-Camp members.
Thanks for your business.
So, thank you. Yes.
all right. Anything else you need while we're all together?
Nope. Hopefully we have a calm storm season coming up, so we'll all be good.
All right, Mike.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you guys have any more questions, you guys can contact us at any time.
Okay.
Appreciate that.
All right.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, sirs. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
Thank
Have a good day.
Bye-bye.
Okay, so now, then. You mentioned custodian, but a lot of some of these won't be able.
No, I think what we should do is let the custodians look at the list and then, we could pull out the things that they're not gonna be able to do and then we'll have to address it. Like the thermal imaging, I mean. We gotta figure out a way to do that, because again,
So,
to spend $4,000 on having somebody come out and do that.
so,
I'm using rates that I was aware of, maybe around here it's a lot cheaper, but,
does this bring a difference in what the fire departments have? Don't they have these thermal imaging things?
we can find out. We can find out, and we might have a local guy that has one, I don't know.
I thought some of the fire
But
departments had
but the
that.
good ones are quite expensive and this all started. This was started with the lawyers when there were some manufacturers of electrical equipment that were after being in place for so many years, they were starting to have problems. And so, it kind of grows. It's like, well, we need to go check and see if these panels are out there too. It's easy for them to just make a blanket statement and say, just go check everything and get back to us. But if we're gonna spend a lot of money, it's like, let's push back a little bit
Right.
and just come, just like the lightning. When I first read this, I'm thinking lightning protection for all the buildings is going to be a lot of money. It's completely different from surge protection. But as you can see, we don't have to have lightning protection.
So is emergency lighting over all emergency exits.
Right.
So how do we go about it?
I don't think, if this building would have been built under, a normal in a county that has inspection, that would have been brought up their building process. But I think what we do is we hit the low hanging fruit on this list. We do everything we can, get it back to him. And then if, it doesn't sound like any of it, and that was my main question, is any of it required or are they dropping us?
Yeah.
And I didn't get that from you. So let's do the things we can do and then, get him that list over. And then I think we should, on some of it, apply for the money back. I read through there and it was 2,000 or 2,500 and we try to get the money back for whatever we have to spend.
Who's gonna be the ramrod on this then? To make this happen?
I will do it.
Yeah, that was quick.
Well, I mean,
Okay,
do you want to go look at the electrical?
the electron, some of the other stuff I can do.
I know.
That's what I mean.
Well, I think that,
The electrical, you just will do it. That's your department.
well, I'm just thinking that let me see what we can get done by the custodians, because a lot of it is housekeeping if you look at the pictures.
Right.
And we'll get that done first.
This historical. Okay, you need a sign over this door, but you don't need light.
The answer is no, you don't. But let's,
Okay,
like I say,
all right, low hanging fruit.
yeah,
We'll get through it.
the
Okay.
oxygen acetylene kind of surprises me because everybody's in non-compliance.
But he said in storage, Bill asked him about question, in storage, in use would be different. I have.
Well, of course, you have to have them next to each other when you're using,
Yeah.
because your hoses wouldn't
Really
reach.
cheap, does the transfer station keep a spare cylinder?
I do not know.
I wouldn't think.
I'm looking at the picture and that's exactly like my building and your building probably looks like a little dolly with a torch.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, no, okay, amount of compliance when I'm used to that, okay. So you're gonna ramrod that, I appreciate that, and we will go from there. Now, I do know, unless they're a different grant, I do know the sheriff, I've asked him before, he uses it real guard, so if we thought we wanted to use it for something else, we better communicate him about that.
Well, if you remember, we talked about having our insurance companies come in more often and review with us. This is the kind of stuff that comes out when you get them in front of.
Yeah.
So, just like as you guys saw with the deductible. Right? You start asking the questions and then they start divulging information. You can change your deductible and save a lot of money. That should have been divulged early on, but
Okay, then, are we done on this?
I think so for now. It's going to be an ongoing issue until it's completed.
Do we want to put it in the agenda, just kind of review
Yes,
Yes.
because
for an update?
that's exactly why we need to do it, just so we
Okay.
keep updating and we keep looking at it as a to-do item.
Okay. Wonderful. All right. Is there anything else? I mean, my list is pretty much checked off. That's, we're set up for a work session on Thursday.
No, because of the end of
Yeah,
the,
Friday meeting on Friday.
I'm sorry,
yeah, Friday.
Friday end of the month.
At 1 o'clock. At 1 o'clock?
At 1, can we, does anyone want to have any work session time? After the meeting? How's the agenda look at the end of the month?
So far, I don't have any.
So far,
It'll
so
be just on payroll.
Formality.
but it is the end of the month. So I don't want to, if we had a half hour, does anybody need it first?
I really, I like the work sessions. So even if we said just a half an hour one, unless it's going to affect you trying to get things closed for the end of the month after the meeting.
Okay, so you want to schedule half, I mean, is that legitimate? Half hour?
So if you schedule it for half hour and you're done in 5 minutes, is that a problem if you close too quick? And so might as well schedule. So if anything does come up, we can talk about it.
We just want to schedule it. In the interest of time, do you want to leave it to a half an hour? That sound workable? Half hour goes. Yes. Okay, let's do it. I'll make a motion, then we put a half hour work session at the end of the meeting on Friday. The end of the month meeting on Friday.
I'll second it.
Okay, so we're moving seconded. Any discussion? Not all in favor, say aye.
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 All right.
Okay, motion carried. That's great. Is there anything else?
I think 5 minutes for online personnel due to some compensation.
Okay, so 5-minute executive session with the 3 commissioners, the county clerk, and non-elected personnel duties and compensation. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Because we moved in seconds. All in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, motion carried 5 minutes. That means. Come back around, yeah. Okay, we're out of executive session, back into regular, but no binding action taken. However, don't get comfortable because I'm gonna call for another. There's 5 now and 10 minutes executive session with the 3 commissioners and county clerk to discuss non-elected personnel duties and compensation. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion passed. We'll be back at 2:41. All right, we're out of executive session, back into regular, and there's no binding action taken or taken. Just keep looking. Yes. I'm gonna make a phone call here. We get everything signed. Is there anything else? We need to talk about. Got our end of the month meeting, work session at 1. Richard's taking care of the kick camp thing. He's all over it. Bill, do you, you need a job? What's your? I don't know. I'm just trying to fill some time here now. I asked every question I wanted to ask. The burn permit email, we'll get that. We'll send that out. Is that time's coming? Do we need? Is there any more discussion on like the emergency management?
Well, I think we need to get one of the applicants in here and talk to him
Okay.
about what, the job entails and what his belief is, because the job entails.
What's the matter about your brother? One day a week, we should.
Mhm. Well, we'll see. Let's
Not necessarily.
let's see what he says, because he seems to have, some pretty good information on what is required. The requirements are the basics, that has to be fulfilled. So above and beyond is, I believe that person could be applying for some grants, because there are grants available. And if we can start getting a few grants to help us with it, that'd be wonderful, which should be part of that job.
Do we need to get somebody on the agenda for this week?
I'm sorry?
Do we need to get somebody on the agenda? No, like,
Oh, we would.
The emergency management.
We have an applicant that wants to apply for the job, so we're just discussing on how we go about talking to him.
Do we even have them? How do we apply for that? We have an open application for that position?
we have to put online, because no one's good. Full of part-time for the rate they're at.
Yeah. That's part of getting, getting the person in here. When I spoke to him, he believed that the job could be done part-time as well.
So I think what she's after, do we need to make time for this person on the agenda? Does this person care if their name is public? How do we handle all that?
If it's an interview, then we can just executive session for an interview. And just they just come up after. So,
Okay, so we could do an executive session and talk with them more about what the job entails.
as an interview.
Okay, I would propose that that's what we do then.
Okay. I guess we can do that by consensus then. Are you fine with that? All right, I'm fine with that. All right, welcome.
Do you know,
Go by, driver's license station down, we're waiting on tax, I've got.
Okay, all right, we'll go for 5 minutes with an executive session with 3 commissioners and clerk, county treasurer to discuss non-elected person and compensation. Is there a second? Second. It's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Okay, motion carried. 5 minutes. That puts us at 2:51, give or take. Right on, okay. We're out of executive session, back into regular, no binding action taken. I know you're busy. Anything else? Okay, thank you.
7 o'clock every night last week, and I'll probably do that way this week.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, is there anything else to come before the commission? There was some potentials on three. We don't know. We're gonna talk about that later. I don't have anything else.
We covered everything. We have a meeting this Friday,
And we've got a ethic meeting on
Wednesday,
Wednesday.
and I have a meeting with, I have a meeting with the township on Thursday.
Okay.
Those meetings are they're going well.
6 o'clock, I think.
The ethic meeting is 6 o'clock and beyond.
And last week, I guess, I sent a message or email. You sent a half about this transmission line proposal. Like we need to talk about that or just keep that in the back of
So you're.
the full city.
This is in regards to whether or not their project could affect,
Yeah.
Brown Mountain. And so it's in such, it's all preliminary right now, so I don't really know other than if we were able to get somebody from Evergy to speak with authority on their current capacity, I don't know what else we would do at this point.
Right.
Because until you start seeing actual usage and what they're intending, it's kind of hard to say that we have a problem.
Okay.
I like the idea that, but he's kind of looking at it early though. And I think we've all been reached out to by gentlemen up at
Right.
Fall City already, so that's a good thing.
All right. Okay. So we have a list of things we're going to do for the next meeting or for the next couple of meetings. Everyone's in good shape.
So,
All right. Then I guess we're done. We'll motion to adjourn. Anyone want to make it?
I'm moving adjourned.
Second.
I'll second
Ben
them.
second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, motion carried. We're adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you, Dallas.